Well, welcome everyone to another edition of American Workers Radio, a special broadcast today. We are having a special guest because we are going out on May the 16th to vote for the 100th mayor of the city of Philadelphia. And I have one of the candidates for mayor, a person who's been here before, who knows our community very well. And he's been here, and I'm going to ask Allan Domb. I should call him Candidate Dom through this interview, but I'll call him Allan. We know each other for a long time. He has been on American Workers Radio before, and we're happy to have him back. And we're going to ask him, Allan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Michael, and thanks for having me here. And I just want to thank you for everything you do for Philadelphia and the community. You know, at every event I'm at, you're there. You're like the Action News van. You are everywhere. Okay.
We try very hard.
And you're doing a great job at it. So I just
you.
wanted to thank you for that. Whether it's the Veterans Day parades or any of the parades, you're always there. You're always at every function.
We try very hard to keep the people together. That's what it's all about.
You're actually at more functions than our mayor. Okay. I'm telling. I mean, you're doing a great job. So listen, I grew up pretty modestly, like maybe many of the people who are listening to this radio show today. I grew up at age 5. I was outside at 5:30 in the morning with my brother till 7:30, shining shoes for 25 cents a shine. At 11 years old, I had 2 paper routes. People don't know what a paper route is today, but I had one at 5:30 in the morning and one at 3:30 in the afternoon. Always worked, and I went to public school. I was a wrestler in high school from 9th to 12th grade. Wrestling practice was pretty severe, let's say. It was very, very demanding. And after wrestling practice at 6 o'clock at night, I would work. In fact, freshman year, 9th grade, I was pumping gas from 6:30 to 9 at night. And sophomore year, after a wrestling practice, I was a janitor in an office building from 6:30 to 10:30 at night. Back then, I was getting paid, Michael, $1.60 an hour.
Whoa, beautiful.
Yeah. I did that for a while, and then I got a promotion to Howard Johnson's, and where I was a dishwasher for $1.65 an hour. And I went to school at night, worked full-time during the day for a time lock company, making $5,000 a year. Came to Philadelphia in '76. I knew no one here, but came here as the manager of a time lock company. I was 21 years old. And look, put my head down, worked hard, opened my own business from scratch, real estate business. Worked really hard, employed a lot of people, got people good paying jobs, and decided to run for council back in 15. First I was going to run for mayor, actually, and I sat down with a political expert who said to me, Allan, you know zero about city government. You know a lot about private sector and business, but you know zero. You built your business from scratch, God bless you, but government's different.
It was a good advisor.
It was a very good advisor. And you know what he said to me, Michael? He said to me, you want to be a heart surgeon, but you've never done any surgeries or even gone to medical school. If you want to become mayor, go into council and learn. Great advice. I did it for almost 2 terms. I learned a lot, and it is a lot different than the private sector.
Oh, absolutely. And Allan, I want to tell you, because many of our listeners are from the Polish American community, that his grandfather also lived and immigrated to America from Poland. So we're happy to have you as sort of a landsman here.
Actually, my grandfather came here, Michael, in 1916. Came from Warsaw. And unfortunately, his 11 siblings, brothers and sisters, their kids, his parents didn't make it. They were killed in the concentration camps.
Yeah.
Thank God he made it.
Thank God. Well, see, he's brought his goodness to America, and he also made you come about and be the great person that you are today.
But I'll say something else, though, Michael, that I'm a big believer. I bet my parents are probably similar to your parents. They grew up in the Depression, and they had Depression age mentality, I call it. Like, when I would drink out of these glasses, I finally asked my mother at 16 years old, Mom, where are you getting these glasses with these ridges around? They're really fancy. She said, they're Hellman's mayonnaise jars, recycled. Or like, we still did it till 2 or 3 years ago when my mother was alive. We would wash plastic utensils and reuse them. That's how I was brought up. We reused tinfoil 25 times until it ripped, but you didn't throw anything away.
Well, see, Allan, this is we are living now in a throwaway society, and that really has to stop. I mean, in the last 30 years, you and I have seen very well what has happened. Now, during recent debates, and you've been at all of them, you've seen the number of issues that were addressed, and they were very important issues. our concerns with American Workers Radio and the communities that we work with is the next mayor doing something special to bring about a better business environment in the city of Philadelphia, and also do something to get everybody involved, working again, getting the school boards to promote all the trade programs and do things that will make people feel great about themselves, and make people also add to their own personal well-being and also add to the economy of Philadelphia. If this was the first day of your administration, how would you like to see that move along?
Well, let me share with you some of my thoughts on that topic. Look, I think that this is a turning point election. This is similar to 1991 or 1979 when Mayor Green became mayor in 1980. It's a turning point election. And the most important quality here is we have all these crises. We have a public safety crisis, affordable housing crisis, good paying jobs crisis, and we have an education and a poverty crisis. The biggest crisis is a crisis of leadership. Strong leadership can solve these issues. When you have strong leadership in government, cities and states are successful. In business, they're successful. Churches, nonprofits, eds and meds, strong leadership, successful. Our biggest issue is strong leadership because we can solve issues when we have the right leadership. And look, public safety is the number one issue for the city. We have to get that under control. But a lot of that is education issues, okay? People are committing crimes in many cases because they're in poverty, don't have a good paying job. That's some of it. There's also some that are really dangerous that we need to take off the street that are not making it livable for the rest of the city. And I've talked to past police commissioners about this, and they said to me every city has similar issues, small amount of people committing the majority of the crime.
Yes.
In fact, in Center City last year, retail theft, 70% of the retail theft was committed by less than 30 people.
Unbelievable.
Right? Same people.
Now, you know yourself that employment opportunities and skills, people that wrote in suggestions about what we should speak about is they were talking about what are we going to do to get those skilled trades back in our schools. That's a very big issue.
So here's the answer, really. Crime in some cases, many cases, is the symptom of the lack of a good paying job, poor education, and being in poverty. Education is the cure. What I'm going to talk about, if we had done 15 years ago, we had implemented it 15 years ago, we would have a different city today. And what I'm going to talk about should not just be done in Philadelphia, it should be done across the country.
Absolutely.
We should be teaching in our schools from K through 12 financial literacy, home ownership, technology, and entrepreneurship. Not just how to make a living, but how to create wealth. Entrepreneurship. We should allow kids in high school to go to school 4 days a week, and on the fifth day, work in a job, get credit, get paid. They'll get a summer job. And in this labor market, Michael, the employer will say, hey, Allan, I know you're working Monday. Can you come in Tuesday through Friday, 3:30 to 6? I need you. We have a labor shortage. And how about coming in Saturday, 9 to 5? Now I'll graduate high school with 4 different job experiences out in the public sector. But more importantly, there's a school that does this. This isn't new. Cristo Rey High School at 17th and Allegheny.
Yes.
Allows their students to go to school 4 days a week, work 1 day a week in a job. Last year, Michael, they graduated 99% of their kids, and 100% were admitted to college.
Well, this is what the people in Philadelphia and across the nation need to hear. We have to restore more Cristo Rey type
Let me talk to your issue, though, which is very important. I know it's important to our listeners. We need to look at our high schools almost the way the Philadelphia Phillies look at their minor league teams. The Phillies have 3 minor league teams. Think about it. AAA ball, AA, and single A. Why do they have minor league teams? To train those players for the majors. We should be using our high schools to train our students for good paying career jobs, technical and the city and other areas. As an example, I'll lay out 3 or 4. 1, we should have 2, 3, or 4 high schools dedicated for public safety, teaching 9th to 12th graders how to become police officers, how to become firefighters, how to become EMT. In the 12th grade, when they graduate with 4 years of experience, they can become a firefighter or EMT. They have to become a police cadet at 18 and 19, and at 20 they become a police officer. But a cadet can do all those desk jobs that we're doing now with police officers, so they can come off the desk jobs and go out into the field. It's something we should have done 5 years ago. We wouldn't be in this shortage today. It's something that should be done across the country. Take it a step further. Building trades, electricians, carpenters, steam fitters, plumbers, all those trades. We should partner with the building trades. And when I say the building trades, those that have worked in the building trades who are now retired. These people have tremendous institutional knowledge about these trades. Let's partner with them and help them teach our 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders to become electricians, to become carpenters, with one guarantee. When a student completes a 4-year program, they're guaranteed a job in the union that is a good paying job. My point is, let's look at our high schools as the opportunity to train for all these different technical jobs, vocational, all these jobs. We should use high schools. L&I has a shortage of 200-300 people. We should have courses in our high schools to teach people how to work in the licensing and inspection in the city of Philadelphia.
Very true, very true. Oh, Alan, that is unbelievably. You know what happened in America in our time? It's difficult to see because people from all over different countries came over. Merchandisers came and said, "Why should you work in America when we can do it for you and ship the product back ready to be put on your shelves and purchased by the American people?" Now, a lot of people are concerned that this was not addressed by national leadership, state leadership, local leadership. Possibly Philadelphia can be the place to finally address this issue and get it out to the public, because we're losing everything, and they ate our lunch a long time ago.
They did. You know, Michael, it's funny you mentioned that about things that are made overseas. My mother passed away in September of 2020. She was 91. God bless her. May she rest in peace. But maybe 2 years before she passed away, in like 2018 or 2019, she said to me she needed a pair of shoes. And she didn't live in Philadelphia. She lived in North Jersey. So she came to visit me, and I took her around to 7 different shoe stores. Now, this is a woman, my mom would only buy what was made in America. And if it wasn't made in America, she refused to buy it.
Wonderful.
We went to 7 shoe stores. We couldn't even find a pair of shoes.
Well, no, it got
and she wouldn't buy any of them.
No, it's got to the point in America that people go to the stores, and through our radio broadcasts and our newspapers and all the various programs that we work with, we try to tell people to look for the American-made label. Go out of your way to speak up to the people at the stores, the managers, the cashiers. Everywhere I go, I tell people, look at the back of the cards, look at the back of the package to see where the cards and where the items are made. And people say, I've never imagined. What happened over the years is we were so busy just living life that the product names were there, the brands were just moved overseas, and the next thing you know, here we are in the United States with a major loss of jobs. And look how many people in the United States are living in poverty. We have 42 million people living in poverty listed, of which about 22 million of them could be trained for full and part-time jobs and be able to be independent. Self-sufficiency is what it's all about.
So, Michael, I want to share with you some facts about what's going on in our country and Philadelphia. You know, Philadelphia, from 2009 to 2018, that 10-year period, 09 to 18, all jobs in the U.S. that were created that paid less than $35,000, which is like $25,000, which are really low-wage jobs. In many cases, a family of 4 can't survive on $25,000. All jobs created that paid less than $35,000, the percentage was 29% in the country. In Philadelphia, the percentage of jobs that were created that paid less than $35,000 in that same time period, 09 to 18, 60.5. We are producing in Philadelphia more than twice the rate of low-paying jobs of any other city or state in the United States. The formation of small entrepreneurs in Philadelphia is the lowest on the East Coast. When you look at jobs that pay $35,000 to $100,000, we have we're half of our suburbs. Just drive out to Conshohocken, Devon, Valley Forge, King of Prussia, and Malvern. They're booming with good-paying jobs. And then you look at the employment in our city. The top 20 employers in the city of Philadelphia, 3 are private sector. Comcast, thank God they're here. American Airlines, because of the airport, and allied security because of the need of guard service across the city.
Wow.
That's a terrible statement to
That's
say.
a terrible statement.
Terrible, right? You get it.
Yes. Oh,
17 are not eds and meds. Now go to Minneapolis, 28 corporate headquarters. Now, someone who may be listening may be saying, why is that the case? We've done a really bad job in the city of having policies that are specific to the city of Philadelphia that have really driven out small entrepreneurs, small, medium, and large businesses. Look who we've lost. Smith Klein, Roman Haas, I can go through the list. Radiant Insurance, Mother's Works, PNC Corporate. We've lost all these companies. Here's why. You're a small entrepreneur. You want to open a business. You want to have a radio show. You want to have a business. You go to New York, your local and state combined business taxes are 16.2. You're in Philadelphia, and this is after my vote to lower it. We're at 15.9. It's still too high. The third highest in the United States is California. They're at 8.8. We're at 15.9. We're almost double California. Chicago and Boston are 7. We're at 15.9. What are we thinking? Atlanta is 4. Forget Texas and Florida. Tell me, Michael, if you're going to open a business or anyone listening was going to become an entrepreneur in Philadelphia, it would be very challenging under that scenario. Here's the solution. We have a tax called the net income tax of the business income receipts tax, the BIRT tax. It was reduced to 5.9. eConsult, a consulting firm, did a study that said if we reduce that 5.9 to 0 over a 10-year period, we can't do it tomorrow, over a 10-year period, we will create 100,000 good-paying jobs in the city. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely. I can't agree more. Allan, I have to tell you this. Many of the people who lived in this city for, say, 30 years say, Michael, it's hard for us to watch how many businesses left Philadelphia. They went to the counties, or they left America altogether. What would your solution be to help lower those taxes and bring a lot of businesses back to the city so we would get more workers? We would have trained workers coming out of the schools, not only with a diploma, but also
Right.
a certificate of accomplishment in some skill that they are ready to enter the market with.
Well, there's 4 or 5 things we need to do. Number one, we need to stop double taxing all businesses, small businesses especially. We're double taxing them right now with the gross receipts and the net income. We have to stop double taxing them. We have to reduce this net income down to 0 over 10 years so we become competitive. Just drive down City Line Avenue. On the right side is Bala Kinwood, booming. And on
Yeah.
the left side is Philadelphia, not booming.
Yeah.
It's taxes. There's no secret here. There's no secret. And that's number 2. Number 3, we need to put in place what I talked about with our schools, teaching financial literacy, teaching technology, teaching entrepreneurship. Those skill sets in the next 5, 10, and 15 years will give us a talented workforce that companies will want to come to our city because we have the talent. Companies want to go where the talent is. That's very important. And not last but not least, we have to change our hospitality in city government, including, and I said this in council last year, I wanted to change how we answer the phone. Thank you for calling the city of Philadelphia. How may we help you? That includes the mayor all down. He's the champion, the leader. The mayor is the key for the city. The mayor has to be the best salesperson of the city. The mayor has to engage and understand in government every employee and the mayor, every resident's success, every entrepreneur's success, every business, regardless of the size, their success is the city's success. We are their partners.
Right. You know, Allan, say 30 years ago, 25 years ago, this city was more successful. There was less poverty. Schools were, had the programs for teaching the trades and all. That's how do we turn the page to get some of that back? It's really going to take the next mayor to be the major cheerleader of this entire operation. The next question that the people had is, will this mayor go out to all the communities to talk to the people? You mentioned in many of your ads you're going to have this done with a certain amount
Right.
of time and things like that. The people would like to see their mayor more often.
Well, I can only tell you that I think the mayor's job is 51% hospitality and 49% technical.
I agree with that.
Okay,
I mean,
and that means you have to be out in the community all the time. You have to be visible to people. People have to see you. People have to know that you're the leader. People have to know that they have your respect. You have their back. And look, every job, in my opinion, you have to love people. If you don't love people, you shouldn't be in politics. You need to love. In fact, if you don't love people, you shouldn't be in a lot of jobs. Okay? You have to love people.
That's right.
You have to love them, and you have to. There's another part of this, in my opinion. You have to receive satisfaction on the inside in your heart when you help others. Your satisfaction has to come from helping someone with a problem, solving it, and then you feel great because you helped them. That's the key to this. It's hospitality.
Hospitality. Well, Alan, it's been a very interesting campaign. I think that all of the debates were well received. I think the people learned a lot. And with someone like yourself in the mayor's seat, it would be very good. And I'm asking all the people to consider all the candidates, listen to what they had to say. Allan knows a lot about business. He's a businessman. He knows about being in community experiences and at all sorts of events. He's out there doing everything that he can to help keep that love moving. You're right. People have to love. With all the crime and difficulties and poverty, this is not good. We're not supposed to be like this in America, the greatest nation on earth.
I've made a commitment that I would personally meet with or talk with every family that has suffered a tragedy in Philadelphia. And I've met with several already. And let me tell you something, it is gut-wrenching. No one knows what it's like until they go through it. It is when you have to sit in front of a mom and a grandmom of a 14-year-old boy who was killed on that Roxborough football field, who was innocent.
Innocent.
And this is the mother's only child. Gone. No more children for her. Gone. It is gut-wrenching.
No.
But I'll tell you what's unique about me, though, Michael. I've spent over 40 years in the private sector. I'm the only one running who has private sector experience, but also public sector experience. I've spent 2 terms on council getting things done. And I have no dark money, no PACs, none of those special interests. I am beholden to no one, but I am accountable to everyone in this city.
Allan, well said. I can't wish you anything but good luck, and tell everybody what your number is.
I'm number 38. Please vote for number 38, and thank you for this opportunity.
And I'm asking all of you to make sure that you go out and vote this Tuesday, May the 16th. If you haven't sent in your ballot, well, you better take it to the poll, and so your vote counts. But the most important thing is that everybody get out and vote so we know what the will of the people is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you to candidate Allan Domb for the 100th mayor of Philadelphia, and thank all of you for urging people in Philadelphia and throughout Pennsylvania to go out and vote. And thank you for all that you do to support American Workers Radio and all of our efforts to bring about more jobs and more love here in the USA. Thank you much.